Hello everybody, welcome back to another fan submission today from Schnitzel Visa, who is taking on Duty Neutron's Fat Dumper, aka Son of Kiernan, and we've got some Dark Elves versus the Skaven today, and you'll love to see it. It's the meme lord himself, Malice Darkblade, up against Lord Skrulk. So we'll go through Kiernan's force first. Very spread out Skaven force. So Skaven slaves and I just believe regular clan rats without shields up in the front lines, and a few sort of smattered around in the secondary line. We've got 3 units of Warplock Jezzails. Really good pick here because they do a real number on Scourge Runner chariots. Also can shoot manticores out of the sky and things like that. So nice little pick. Some rat ogres around here protecting the ranged assets in the back. 3 units of them, it looks like. Also a couple of hounds backing them up. They are the magic attack variant, so not the poison variant. That's interesting. I tend to see the poison ones more often than not. We've also got the avalanche mortars and some Eshin triads in the back here. This is a very sneaky some sneaky deployments going on here. There's an assassin back here who has taken the rival hard talisman as well as the assassin's trophy. And as we said in the start, leading the force, we have Lord Skrulk. So Liber Bugonicus and Rod of Corruption, Stand Your Ground, as well as Vermintide and Pestilent Birth. So, you know, on-demand frontline when your forces start to break, or we'll leave it on a slow play. So for Schnitzel's force, the Dark Elves, three Reaper Bolt Throwers. They're going to have some good targets, definitely, in the Jezzails and the Avalanche Mortars. We've got some Dark Riders in the back here, protecting the rear from potential, gutter runners, things like that. Lots of Vanguard deployment options in the Skaven roster. There's also the Crows of Cain up in the sky. Pretty cheap infantry line here. Bleak Swords in the front, but they'll do fine against Clan Rats and Spears. They'll beat them quite handily. Spears in the back, protecting the bolt throwers, and a unit of Corsairs housing a Sorceress of Fire who is rocking Burning Head and Fireball, as well as the Darkstar Cloak for some Winds of Magic regen. There's also a Death Hag here, which is an interesting pick. Naked Death Hag, and naked in more ways than one. Oh, yeah. Really cool unit model, actually. So no Chill Blade. Probably don't really need the Chill Blade here, honestly. Skaven stats aren't the best to write home about at the best of times, but Malice Darkblade's up here. He's brought the Warp Sword of Cain, and obviously he has all his abilities. So he's a bit of a blob killer, this guy. Can be a leadership bomb sort of candidate. So he's got some extra combat buffs here, as well as the Deadly Onslaught, and then he's also got a massive debuff for things around him. It does obviously cause damage to him, but yeah, Malice is probably seen generally as one of the biggest memes in the game. Zarkin is, having a second HP pool seems like a good idea, and certainly he has some ability to cause damage when under the influence of Zarkin, both in combat and with his own unique passives that get brought to the table once he does transform. But the Reaper Bolt Throwers are going to press up. They're going to start shooting. No surprises who they're shooting at. The Warcop Jezzails are probably their best target. We need to get the Reapers not shooting at Skaven slaves there. So Schnitzel's going to play the patient game. Frontline advancing, which is the right option. Definitely wants to come up and get some space between the next line. Then you can filter spears up. You can keep the Reaper Bolt Throwers within a bit of distance. The Avalanche Mortars are going to absolutely wreck the Blackheart Corsairs there. Not a massive fan of Corsairs here. I don't think you need them. I think you're better off just with general Bleak Swords. Their stats are more than good enough to beat to beat slaves, to beat clan rats, and spears obviously can trade upwards into things like rat ogres quite well. So the Corsairs are done for. The Sorceress is having to run. Probably a nice thing here that she's not on a horse because her unit model is smaller. But the Avalanche Mortars are just, targeting. Need to go from 1 to 1. I mean, the Corsairs now are finished. Target something else. Get the full value for your shots with the full infantry formation. Frontline's going to come forward, and we do see some nice pivoting of targeting onto the Bleak Swords, and you see how much just a good value can do there. Like, I would even change targets already. Change this unit, but the Bolt Throwers are singing out and really have done a number. I'm actually surprised that with how much damage they've taken that their leadership is held. I think that's about to change though. They will rout and be taken off the field, but the Jezzails are in position. Not sure what they're shooting at the moment. It might be Malice, or it looks like it's still the Sorceress. No, it looks like it's the Death Hag. I'm not sure that's a great target at the moment. You've got the Assassin who can probably come in you know, with Assassin's Trophy, you can probably kill her quite easy. I don't think she's a massive threat to this force. You know, Skrulk can stay away from her. I think we need to be returning fire on the bolt throwers at this stage. But the front lines are starting to meet. As we said, Bleak Swords are going to do fine against, you know, all the clan rats and like here. Dark Riders will take a charge, so a bit unfortunate for them. They will lose to Wolf Rats now that they have been charged. They're probably going to struggle to get away. These aren't the poison variant, so their speed isn't being debuffed, and the Jezzails are just continuing to hammer home. They want a piece of this Death Hag. Can't blame them, am I right? But the Spears now could come up and form a secondary line. Malice can probably come forward and use some debuffing effects on this blob here, potentially bait a bit of a blob, and we might even see something like a Burning Head go down soon. Crows of Cain are going to come up to plug the gaps as well. They will also regen in combat, and good burst damage potential on things like Rat Ogres. Rat Ogres won't really appreciate them because they do have actually very good stats: 44 weapon strength, 29 melee attack, and really good melee defense. Some people don't realize how good the melee defense on Harpies is. Which makes up for their, you know, non-existent armor and not a great HP pool and absolutely pathetic leadership. On this side, this unit of Bleak Swords is probably going to get worked down. Some Clan Rats here are going to chase the Bleak Swords off. That's a fine use for them. And over here, Malice. Is this Malice? Malice is just going ham on Lord Skrulk. He's popped a few of his buffs, particularly the Deadly Onslaught. Looks like it is still active, and he's going to get bailed off, luckily, by the Rat Ogres, but Malice is going to make the right call and try and run away from them. Crows of Cain are going to come down, shut down these Jezzails. Probably need to move on to the next one now. Looks like some micro laps in here. These Jezzails getting back into the fight now, as well as a couple of the Avalanche Mortars. But the Crows of Cain probably need to get out of here. They don't want to fight the Wolfhounds. And the Assassin doing a little bit of a number on Malice, but Malice has very, very decent leadership. He's going to be able to run away. Doesn't want to pop Zarkin just yet. Wants to probably stay in the fight, but the Jezzails can probably put paid to that plan. They need to get on. Probably need to try and force actually the Zarkin transformation here, as we'll see a pretty nice Burning Head come down here. Is going to get two units of, I think it's just one unit of Clan Rats. Might do a little bit of topical damage and some leadership effects to the Rat Ogres, but the Dread Spears are, luckily for these Rat Ogres, going to be pushed off. Another unit here ready to come back in. This Death Hag is still holding her leadership, but Skrulk might have something to say about that in a second. Summoned unit of Clan Rats in tow as some Bleak Swords return to the fight. Looks like the Bolt Throwers for the main part have been able to pretty much stay online, and they've used the majority of their ammo now. Eshin Triads are going to hit home, but like I said, we've probably got some pretty decent value even on this unit. It's going to go down, but yeah, made its value back. Been shooting the weapons teams, been shooting the Avalanche Mortars, who are going to be finished off by these Dark Riders. But what is Malice up to? It looks like a Rod of Corruption is going down here, causing damage to the surrounding Dread Spears and Bleak Swords, who are going to go down. And it looks like we have Malice putting down the blood price, so damage resistance as well as massive base damage and armor piercing damage. He is up to 833 weapon strength, if you don't mind. And Skrulk has just been torn to bits in a matter of seconds. A summoned unit of Plague Monks here is probably Malice can probably get away from him, but it's, you know, at least punishing his leadership through the poison effect. Maybe able to get these Rat Ogres out, but they're stuck on Dread Spears at the moment. But the Assassin may be able to sneak in here and get a hit or two, and Malice here probably wants to think about turning into Zarkin, and as we say that, he doesn't let us down. Zarkin is free, no longer housed within this Dark Elf Dreadlord's body, and Reaper of Souls obviously causing damage to combatants. The Bloodstorm likewise is going down now, is going to cause massive damage to all these units. The Plague Monks do degen, and just the damage going down here from Zarkin is probably going to be enough to finish the game. He also does, I believe, cause terror when he's in form. No terror, just fear. Just fear, but he is unbreakable, and he is probably going to be able to win the day here. So Malice Darkblade is going to return to Haggrafe in Zarkin form, but victorious nonetheless. The Bolt Throwers have been really big here. We'll go through their damage values in the end game, but I mean, this one's still online. This one's full health and use majority of its ammo. We've got some Dread Spears that can come back to the fight now and consolidate the bolt thrower, but I think that is going to be the game. The Jezzails are wavering, the Wolf Rats are wavering. There's not much left in the fight here that can really do any amount of damage for the Skaven. Still got the Sorceress lobbing some fireballs out, finishing off these Rat Ogres. That hit will probably break and shatter them. I don't know how these Wolf Rats, with everything going on around them, have held their leadership. It's looking pretty bleak here for the Skaven, but they're fighting on, actually. They're boxing on reasonably well. A lot of their units are actually in pretty good health. I think these Clan Rats may have chased off the Bleak Swords from before, but we're changing to spray fire mode now, and I think with the artillery penalty to the leadership, we're going to see some chain routing pretty soon from the Skaven. Probably just trying to wait Malice out here as he does sort of degen. Yeah, but as we said, Wolf Rats, very low leadership. They're going to be bursted off by the artillery. Zarkin's going to rout off these Wolf Rats. The Bloodstorm is going to go down onto these remaining infantry, and a Burning Head for good measure just to finish off the game. So well played to Schnitzel Visa, bringing the Lord of all memes, Malice. 1,000 damage value. It's good that they've fixed the value sort of mark at the end of the game there, because it used to just come up as 0 any game where he turned into Zarkin. Death Hag's an interesting pick, probably pretty cheap because she was completely naked, but didn't have a lot of... she probably could have done a bit of damage to Skrulk if she'd got him 1-on-1, but yeah, nice, just another bit of hitting power in there. Sorceress on foot as well. Probably a good choice given what was on the other side for the Skaven. The Jezzails probably would have had a much easier time killing her if she was on a horse. So managed to sort of mitigate the worst of it. And Fireball is obviously very good at killing units like Skrulk, Snitch as well, potentially. Most of the Skaven Lords don't like being fireballed. Bleak Swords in the front line, not doing actually all that good at all, contrary to what we said at the start, but the Dread Spears in the secondary line have done pretty well, managed to get some good value against the Rat Ogres. Corsairs, I don't know where that one kill came from, because it looked like they got absolutely obliterated by the Avalanche Mortars. And the Jezzails are getting okay value. They're still a decent pick here because Scourge Runners are still popular in this matchup. And Jezzails are very good at killing sort of chariot models. But the Bolt Throwers probably the real winner here, managing to trade in the sort of in the long range fight against the Jezzails. Crows of Cain have bounced around, I think routed off a few of the weapons teams. And yeah, the Rat Ogres just managed to get stuck, kind of fighting spears, which they don't want. Wolf Rats have done really well. I'm actually really surprised. Yeah, like I said, surprised to see the magic attack variant over the poison, but maybe it might have been a nice pick in hindsight. So Skrulk not getting great value, Assassin doing okay, not a particularly expensive character, but I'd say between Zarkin and Malice, he's probably paid for himself. So yeah, a well played game and a cool list to Schnitzel Visa here today. Thanks also to Son of Kiernan for the game, well played, and hope you guys enjoyed the replay. We'll be back with more soon. Until then, take care.